Greetings, my name is Cademimu, and this is an exploration of the entire galaxy sector by sector. Today, we're looking at Cademimu Sector in the 9th Brazen Petard Command of the new territories of the Outer Rim. Cademimu Sector is named after the Cademimu system and its primary inhabited planet, Cademimu 5, and in a rare case of sector names making sense, this is the actual sector capital. They were a major munitions plant during the Great Galactic Wars between the Old Republic and the Sith Empire. Republic aligned, but flipped to the Sith Empire by a corrupt governor during the Cold War between the First and Second Great Wars. The population sided with the Republic against that corrupt government, and the Republic sent agents to deal with the compromised leadership, but Cademimu never really recovered as an arms manufacturing plant. They went from being an Outer Rim Balmorra to a pretty unremarkable shadow port by the Imperial era. Back in the Mandalorian Neo-Crusades, between the wars with Exar Kun and Revan, the planet Pheda was important to keeping Dantooine tethered to the Republic's core. When the Mandalorians raided a station in orbit, Dantooine was isolated from comms. It's not on any major hyperspace routes out of Dantooine though, and it's not like there aren't routes going straight to Coruscant from there, but maybe those are more recent? It was isolated from comms, not from ships, so maybe the comms network and the hyperspace beacons were separate? I don't know why you would have two different networks for those. Why make twice as many beacons when you could just load some extra software? But utilities are often made of spaghetti code in weird ways because you can't just take down the HoloNet for 6 months across 100 sectors while you dismantle the old network to create a newer one that's better adapted to the current needs of the system. I mean, you can, but don't. I need that to live. Lenico 4 is a dead world, although like most dead worlds, it does have a breathable atmosphere. It's just nothing can grow there, but a couple of Ortolans lived there before Exal Kresh, a rogue Sith, showed up and killed them all. I wouldn't normally bother talking about a planet with a population of less than 1,000, every sector has hundreds of those, but during the Great Galactic Wars, the Jedi and Sith fought on Lenico 4 at a site called the Ash Plains, which just sounds cool. Another world that's unimportant but cool is Port Haven. During the High Republic era, some colonists tried to make an intentional community on Port Haven, and if you ever wonder why, with the galaxy being so full of empty inhabitable planets, anyone ever bothers fighting empires or trade federations instead of just moving to a new planet? Port Haven is why. They never fully figured out farming and everyone got eaten by space jaguars. The planet was recolonized during the Imperial era as a smuggler port and managed better this time, and that's who gave us all the cool pictures of the long-abandoned original colony structures overgrown with jungle foliage. Rumor is that some descendants of the original settler families are still out there, or have reintegrated with the smuggler colonist population, and that a buried High Republic colony ship on one of the beaches still works. The sector saw some skirmishes during the Clone Wars. On Perrin Minor, the sector's primary battlefield during the Clone Wars, the Republic used a weather machine to create banks of fog that concealed their position from the droids, making it easy to ambush them. Really goes to show how cheap the battle droids were. It would have been super easy to give them heat vision or bioscanners or electrical scanners to pick up on the clones' own teched-out helmets, but almost none of the battle droids on Perrin Minor actually had any of that because it would have cost like 20 extra credits to build it into the head. Planet Oznek is home to an isolationist species called the Toma. The CIS set up a base in an isolated area of the planet, and the Republic sent some clone troopers in to destroy the base, hoping to keep all the action far away from the Toma to avoid them getting involved one way or another. The mission's commanding officer, Greaves Kishpog, tried to sabotage the mission as part of a defection to the CIS, but the clones caught the traitor clone he'd inserted in the squad and got the job done. You might have noticed that by the Imperial era, this sector was covered in shadow ports. It's not like it was squeaky clean before, but under the Empire it was basically a smuggler-based economy. One station that rose to fame during this era was Bazaar, run by crime lord Orion Ferret. He used the junk planet Patch 4 to hide a lot of his wares and had a giant worm monster pet to guard the place, which is cool. Now the sector is in the Imperial Remnant, and it's hard to say for sure what's going on out there, but it's been a crime-infested warren ever since it was wrecked during the Sith Wars, and I don't see why that would change under the Remnant.